I think a lot of our job, as I said, is to try and, in all sorts of ways, help people feel more, build resilience, to use my old language. That's our job. And I think there is a metric for how resilient you are. And I think it's how far ahead can I plan? So if you think back into the beginning of the pandemic, which for lots of people who've been lucky enough to lead reasonably resilient lives is an upfront way of thinking about it. It was like, can I find food for the week? Will I have a job next month? Can I pay my mortgage in, or my rent in 6 weeks' time? And as soon as you're through that acute phase, you're into, can I afford to go on holiday next summer? Am I putting something into a pension? Whatever it looks like for you in your own set of circumstances. And so if you want a metric that you can measure, pushing out the answer to the question, how far ahead can I plan, is a really good metric of the fact that people's lives are stabilising and they're getting more resilient. Now, how you gather that, how we interpret it, I've had this one in my head for years, actually, in different contexts, but I think we can do that. And I think we should be measuring ourselves on it, because if we are serious about helping people have stable lives and a secure foundation from which they can then do whatever they want, and if that's what we think our job is, then how far ahead can you plan? I think it's a really good metric. And then the third bit is I'm not trying to turn everything into a quantifiable number. So the sort of whole social value metric isn't necessary, but in some cases it really is. So on Housing First, for example, we are not going to start paying for a Housing First model for the whole of our, for every person who needs support, because it's incredibly expensive. And actually it's not the job, that's not what the rent pays for. But if you can prove via tracking someone's consumption of public services and then looking at the parallel path for someone who's in receipt of a really intensive support package, you can provide data that shows how much the state saves from investing upfront in really good support services that help people's lives take a different path. That's where you need those metrics. But I think you normally need them when you're making an argument to a commissioner. We don't have to prove pounds saved for everything that we do, because actually it's about improvement in people's quality of life.